Okay, so real quick before I start this video, I just want you to know that viewer discretion should be advised and a quick couple trigger warnings. Today we're going to talk about sexual assault, violence against queer people, and generally, if you don't want to deal with those topics, I recommend skipping this video. I won't be bothered at all. Viewer discretion is advised. The enigmatic figure of Sadako Yamamura from the original novel Ringu has haunted the imaginations of readers and viewers alike. However, as various adaptations of the story have emerged over the years, a crucial aspect of her character, her LGBTQ plus identity and the harrowing experience of assault, has been consistently overlooked. This essay delves into the rich tapestry of Sadako's character in the novel and explores how subsequent adaptations have utterly failed to capture the depth and complexity of her motivations that are found in her original characterization in the book. In Koichi Suzuki's Ringu, Sadako is portrayed as a complex character with a tragic backstory. Her psychic abilities and her connection to a cursed videotape create a gripping narrative that goes beyond the typical horror trope. Crucially, the novel hints at Sadako's LGBTQ plus identity and the trauma of assault, added layers to her character that demanded exploration. In the novel, Sadako Yamamura emerges as a tragic and complex character. Born with psychic abilities, Sadako faces a life marked by isolation and persecution due to her extraordinary powers. Moreover, the novel hints at a harrowing incident of sexual assault, but further deepens her anguish against mankind. Sadako's disdain for humanity stems from the relentless cruelty she endured, as people perceive her as a threat rather than understanding the vulnerability beneath her supernatural abilities. First, her mother is completely disbelieved when she tries to display her own supernatural powers. Then, later on, as an adult, when Sadako tries to get away from all of that, her mother commits suicide, and then that leads to her trying to break away from showing him off her abilities at all, and she tries to pursue a career in acting. But even then, that doesn't go well because she is a victim of sexual assault, and she has to actually use her psychic abilities to murder her Falter, which really leads to her later on dealing with a lot of rejection. And right when she's at her lowest, she's assaulted yet again. And this time, she's looked at in horror as it's made known to someone else besides someone in her family that Sadako is intersex. Now, there can probably be a debate on whether or not she would be trans because she is intersex, but she fully identifies as a woman. However, regardless of whether or not she's trans, she is most certainly queer, and that is something that is ignored in pretty much every adaptation. The rejection, alienation, and violence she experiences fuel her profound resentment, culminating in her desire for revenge against a world that has consistently rejected and harmed her just for who she is. In this intricate narrative, Sadako's hatred is not a simplistic manifestation of evil, but a poignant response to the profound suffering inflicted upon her. Koji Suzuki's Ringu became a very popular book, so of course, eventually it would make its way to the silver screen. The adaptations, while successful in conveying the horror elements, often overlook Sadako's identity and the trauma that shaped her. They overlook a lot of her personal identity and struggles. They don't talk about her being intersex, for example, and how that played into her final assault that tipped her over the edge, turning her into the Onuru that we're all familiar with today. This erasure of her LGBTQ+ identity and the assault she endured diminishes the depth of her character, reducing her to a one-dimensional entity solely focused on revenge. Ignoring Sadako's LGBTQ+ identity perpetuates the lack of representation in mainstream media. In an era where diverse narratives are gaining recognition, the oversight becomes glaring. Sadako's identity is not merely an inconsequential detail, it's an integral part of her character that informs her actions and motivations. A deep dive into Sadako's LGBTQ+ identity allows for a nuanced exploration of her relationships and interactions. It sheds light on the complexity of her character dynamics, making her a more relatable and human entity. The richness of her identity should not be sacrificed for the sake of a streamlined horror narrative. I get why it was cut in the 90s. It is an uncomfortable topic, and it is something that I would say in the book is not tackled very well to the best of its extremes. We learn about her intersex identity through characters that are not the best. One of the characters is an admitted rapist, for one, and the other, at that point, once they learn that Sadako was intersex, struggles to refer to them as she, which is a little bit uncomfortable, but I think that future adaptations, if they ever re-explore the original characterization of Sadako, they should take that motivation for her actions, because it makes a lot of sense for her later on when she's striking back at everything and everyone, because in her eyes, she lived in a world that hated and despised her just for who she is, from her powers to a much more realistic motivation, which is how she was viewed because of her body and her experiences in that regard. In conclusion, the adaptations of Ringu have consistently missed a crucial part of Sadako's character by sidelining her LGBTQ+ identity and the trauma of assault. Recognizing the importance of representation and delving into the complexities of characters, especially in the horror genre, is essential for creating a narrative that resonates with a diverse audience. Sadako's character is not just one of horror, it's a tale of tragedy, resilience, and the consequences of overlooking the multifaceted nature of identity in storytelling. As we continue to navigate the realms of horror literature and cinema, it's imperative to embrace the richness of characters like Sadako, ensuring that their voices are not silenced or diluted in the pursuit of a chilling narrative. I would argue that silencing Sadako and taking away her motivations and all the future adaptations is just the type of thing that ruined her life and turned her into the hateful Onuru that we're used to today. When we adapt Sadako in the future, we should look to the past and look to the book for her motivation and realize that it is a key part in understanding Sadako Yamamura. Alright, Harper Nation, that's it for this video. This topic is pretty personal to me, just, considering my own identity. I'm, trans lesbian, and this video, in often places, it was hard to talk about. I'm also sick on recording the audio for this, so if my voice sounds a little bit different or there's any moments where I'm pausing, I'm probably clenching my stomach and hoping I'm not about to throw up. So, sorry about that. But yeah, I hope that's it for this video. Next week, I'm gonna attempt to do another gameplay video. It's probably gonna be either Fallout New Vegas mod showcase, or it's gonna be more Dead by Daylight. Probably more Dead by Daylight, I will be honest. I might talk about Chucky whenever I do that. I don't know, we'll see. But, man, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you too can be a part of the Harper Nation. And goodbye.